afternoon, everybody. Sam Gore along with Hall of Famer Tamika Catchings. And Tamika, second SEC game for both of these teams. What's Mississippi State got to do to get the win today?
Well, I think Mississippi State, first off, they got to come out. After the loss against Kentucky, they really started looking at that three-point line. Obviously, South Carolina, not necessarily 3 points all game, but they're going to have to figure out a way to pick up their defense.
The beauty of this South Carolina team is their balance. But if there's been one player that has been consistently good for the last 2 years, it's Te-Hina
Te-Hina is the player to watch. South Carolina just does such a good job. But she is the one, she's the ringleader. She's the one that the ball is going to flow through most of the game. What I love about her game this year is she's really figured out a way. She's got to diversify her offensive skill set. And that's what she's done inside, outside, mid-range, trying to find ways to get the ball in the basket. And this is the player that comes out, coming in with a lot of confidence in the way that she's playing alongside of her teammates. But on the flip side, for Mississippi State, Jacayla Jordan, a.k.a. Jerk, will come out and play ball today. I know this being her second game, she's trying to figure out how do you put this team on her shoulders. They want the ball in her hands because of all that she does. Does such a good job of getting to the basket, finishing at the basket. Offensively, we know what she can do. Defensively, you've got to like the pickpocket, but that's what this team is going to have to figure out. Defense is going to be the staple for today's game from the Mississippi State side. Look at the numbers right here. One thing you will note, Te-Hina, South Carolina, they are such a balanced team from the starting five to the bench. So these numbers are a little skewed, but Jacayla Jordan is definitely going to go to work.
South Carolina has 7 players averaging at least 7 points per game. Dawn Staley just picked up her 200th SEC regular season win in the SEC opener against Missouri, and high fives all around that bench. We're ready to go. It's Mississippi State in white controlling the opening tip. You put any extra emphasis on this first possession, Tamika?
Right off the bat, Raven Johnson jumps on the ball. We're going to get another jump ball play, and because Mississippi State won the tip, it'll be South Carolina ball.
South Carolina defeating Missouri in their SEC opener, and as Tamika touched on earlier, Mississippi State lost to Kentucky. Kentucky made 18 threes, a school record in that game. South Carolina 13-1 this year, only lost to UCLA. They're ranked number 2, but number 1 in the net, one of the metrics used by the committee to determine the field of 68. Fagan's shot is missed. Hall gets the rebound and misses as well. Gamecock with the rebound for Mississippi State. DeShields, Jordan, Russell, Poe, and Gamecock. Inside to Gamecock, missed the shot. She's making 72% of her shots this year. Russell long on the 3, and Pow with a rebound. Lid on the basket so far. Chloe Kitts has her shot blocked.
I love seeing Gamecock, what she's done, what we've already seen. She leads the nation in field goal percentage. She missed her first shot, but didn't let that affect her on the defensive end.
Jacayla Jordan missed. Gamecock number 15 in white for Mississippi State from Kenya. Well, I didn't think we'd go 90 seconds without a basket in this game between these two, but that's what's happened so far.
But what you've noticed is even through the missed shot, the rebounding effort and trying to get the second chance opportunity. South Carolina, that's where that's their bread and butter, getting to the board. They just haven't been able to finish.
Stepped on the baseline, and it'll turn it over to South Carolina. Mississippi State led by Sam Purcell, just his 3rd season, but he is the only head coach in this program's history to surpass 20 wins in their first 2 seasons as head coach.
Well, I love the fact, even when you talk to Coach Staley about Purcell, he has so much trust and just respect for the way that he has led this team.
I'd like to go on a road trip with those two. That'd be fun. Nice work inside. The left-handed move off the mark for Fagan, but she draws the foul. And Fagan will be going to the free throw line, which could give us our first point of the game.
I think in that drive, Fagan did a good job of getting Poe a little bit off of her feet and being able to go right into her body to get to the free throw line.
Foul is on Poe. Fagan, 83% free throw shooter. That's the first point of the game, and it took just over 2 minutes to get it. South Carolina averaging 82 points per game. Mississippi State averaging 78. And a rare miss. It has not been good for the shooters so far. Jordan streaks down the right side of the floor and banks it in.
A great job by the Shields starting the transition game. No, Jacayla Jordan down her shoulder, and when you get the ball to Jordan, she's going to work.
Fagan trying to get Okada in trouble. Pow working the baseline and gets the roll. That's one of the big differences this year, isn't it, Tamika? Her ability not just to shoot the three, but she's got more versatility.
Well, everybody's been playing her on the line. You'll look at Pow and also Tessa Johnson. Coach Staley has done a good job of really trying to find ways to get them inside, get that mid-range game going.
Foul inside on Fagan.
Yeah, I love this right here. That transition game for Mississippi State. Jacayla Jordan always looking for a way to score, and Pow just sets herself, collects herself, and rises up over the Shields.
Jordan catch and shoot on the inbounds pass is off the mark on the jumper. Our two stars have already made their presence felt here in this first quarter.
Yeah, look at Chloe Kitch posting up down low, trying to demand the ball, but Pow going to take the shot.
Last year led the nation in three-point field goal percentage. Her percentage a little lower this year. Not much, though, but she's added so much more to her game. Nice look inside, and Okot, that's what she does best, finish around the rim.
Well, I like that pick and roll action. It actually started with Poe in her drive, waiting for the screen to come in. Gave a wide open Okot at the basket.
Good start from Mississippi State. They wanted to control the runs by South Carolina, and there's Chloe Kitts. That's big for her to make that shot.
Well, you gotta love when she's able to see the ball go to the net. Didn't necessarily, she only had a 2-point performance, 2.2 rebounds last game, and we talked earlier about the balanced scoring, but you still want her to have those opportunities.
Yeah, Dawn Staley said she was not worried about Chloe Kitts, that Kitts would figure it out and be putting up big numbers soon. Jordan with the three, and Hall was in her face. Jacayla Jordan.
That was a nice setup right there. I thought she was going to pass the ball down low, but shit, I got this.
Fagan missed, Okot with the rebound. Medina Okot, number 15, 6'6", from Kenya. Got here late, but she is making quite an impact this year. Jordan. Back-to-back threes for Jacayla Jordan.
Well, yeah, gotta love the ball movement on that last play. Mississippi State not settling for those shots. Okot did a good job. She didn't have the ball collected and found somebody else to pass to.
And Pow with nice penetration to get that bucket. You told me before the game you thought Jacayla Jordan was going to have a big game. Why?
Well, I think Jacayla Jordan, every game, she's going to have a good game. She's going to definitely get the shots up, if nothing else. But I think going against South Carolina, you got players that step up against these big-time teams. And South Carolina is that team. You want to have a good team. You want to have a good game again.
She practices against Victoria Vivians in every practice, and Jordan draws the foul. Foul will be on Bree Hall.
Well, Jacayla Jordan's already let her mark be known, finding ways to score inside, outside, back up, hands down, man down. We're going to have a lead. Mississippi State up 10-7.
You have an undefeated South Carolina team looking for redemption and an Iowa team led by a star unlike any we have ever seen.
Johnson picks the pocket of court. What a momentum buster to end the half.
This year's South Carolina team has multiple, consistent, efficient weapons.
Perfection with a touch of sweet redemption. Undefeated South Carolina has won its third national championship.
Last year, South Carolina with the 10th undefeated title season in NCAA history, but today the defending champs are having a tough time stopping Jacayla Jordan.
Well, it's still early in the game, but Jacayla Jordan, Mississippi State, the focus had to be get the ball inside, work inside out, Jacayla Jordan taking advantage of her first shot, going to the basket. Of course, she saw the three-point, already with 8 points, 2 for 2 from the three-point line.
Jacayla Jordan, one of those players that's so easy to be inspired by in so many different ways. She has started every single game she's ever played here at Mississippi State. And I mentioned a moment ago, she battles against Victoria Vivians in practice every day, who's on the staff. That has got to be helpful.
Well, yeah, Victoria Vivians currently with the Seattle Storm, WNBA Seattle Storm, and when you're going against somebody that's already in the pros, it definitely has to give you that confidence, knowing that, hey, this is my next step and where I want to go next.
Well, Jordan's already in double figures. 10 points for her. She averages 15 a game, had 17 against Kentucky.
And I know you made Sanaya Fagan on the bench now. She has 2 fouls.
Watkins in the game, just threw out of that. Johnson. Again, Dawn Staley basically has 3 teams of players that they will run in and out. And that's the thing about this South Carolina team. You can win the opening quarter, but can you sustain that for 4 quarters? And there's a foul on the way to the bucket by Fulwiley.
Well, Fulwiley got baited into that foul, but a great job by Jacayla Jordan of just going, and she stayed within the flow of her offense. You see Fulwiley put her left shoulder, knock her off balance.
Well, coming up next, you know what? The Tigers are going to win this game, Tamika. It's Auburn against LSU, Game 3, down in Baton Rouge. Looking forward to seeing Diana Gaston, and of course LSU, one of the few teams still undefeated this year.
Well, you said the Tigers going to win, and I think a lot of people need to understand that Auburn is also the Tigers. So Auburn Tigers versus LSU Tigers.
That's all we know about that game. Tigers are going to win. Turnover from Jordan. She was looking down the floor to try to get Montague and says, my bad.
I like the look, though. I like the transition game, trying to find, once again, those point paints, trying to get some easy buckets around the basket.
7-point lead for Mississippi State here in the opening quarter.
And you won't see Coach Staley do a lot of timeouts. One thing that she wants her team to figure out is, through adversity, how do you band together?
Yeah, that's one thing about Dawn Staley. She is always trying to develop her players for the next level, wants them to figure things out on the court. And Aya Russell, just got a shout of her. She is the other big-time scorer for Mississippi State. Haven't gotten her going yet, but they haven't needed to.
Well, Jacayla Jordan just went to the bench along with Te-Hina for South Carolina. So somebody else is going to have to step up.
That's off the mark by Edwards. And Mississippi State will get to keep it.
You know, South Carolina is normally able to get a lot of those offensive rebounds. I do feel like Mississippi State has done a good job early on of not allowing those second chance opportunities.
Mississippi State's been going about 10 deep, and they are going to use substitutions every time South Carolina does. Nice take! Destiny McFall!
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Destiny McFall goes into the paint. I didn't know where she was going at first, but it went up and in.
Jump ball call, that lit things up here in the hump.
And we got to take another look at this. Destiny McFall, Raven plays her to not let her go left. She comes back to her right hand, ends up going left, but a great finish at the basket.
McFall was one of the best junior college players in the country last year at Northwest Florida State College. In fact, because of her success at the junior college level, this year she has the honor of having her jersey commemorated throughout the entire season in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in Knoxville. Which, by the way, if you've never been to that, you got to check that out on your next trip to Rocky Top. It's literally at the top of the hill. Oh, McFall again. Missed that. Fans are ready to explode. South Carolina in transition. Fulwiley, an offensive foul, though, before she made it to the basket.
And I think that offensive foul is going to actually be on Joyce Edwards.
Yep.
We got multiple players running down the middle of the paint, and you see Joyce Rock. Oh, yes.
Good job
Joyce
by
Edwards.
Russell taking that charge.
Yeah, look at the coaching staff. Dawn can only imagine what's going through her head, but she's definitely one of those coaches to say, you know what, I'm going to keep rotating players in different groups.
And if you're Mississippi State right now, Tamika, it couldn't have started any better.
Yeah, I think, and confidence-wise, right? Back in the game. Oh.
Intercepted by Johnson. Johnson going all the way, and that's an easy layup for Raven Johnson.
Raven Johnson, one of the best defenders in our league. More so on the on-ball, but to see her offside, being able to read that pass and pick it.
McFall. She's been a spark plug off the bench. Russell in the lane. And Russell gets the roll.
And that was a good play for Russell. Said it earlier, Mississippi State with Jacayla Jordan on the bench. Who's going to step up? And McFall and Russell with a good shot.
Russell played at Kentucky last year. This is really her first year as a full-time starter. She had been coming off the bench throughout her career. She also played at South Carolina, so it's actually the second straight game for Anaya Russell that she has faced her former team.
Well, now Poe going to have to go out of the game. She just got her second foul, trying to battle down low with Joyce Edwards.
Russell started at South Carolina, then went to Kentucky, and Mississippi State lost to Kentucky in their SEC opener Thursday. Catch and shoot, good by Tessa Johnson.
I love watching Tessa Johnson. I go back to last season and just watching. She's like that little engine that never stopped going and going, and so much fun to watch.
DeShields. Oh, yeah. Denham DeShields with the reverse layup.
But we saw McFall do it a couple plays ago, and then Denham DeShields comes in and said, you know what, I want a little bit of this action too.
Bulldogs have come out growling and barking in this game. Joyce Edwards with the short jumper. Cuts the lead to 7, under a minute to play in the opening quarter. And that was an over and back as Prater just caught that ball in the wrong spot. And so that's a turnover, 5th turnover on the Bulldogs.
I think Denham DeShields trying to run the play probably could have took 1 or 2 more dribbles to the basket, forced South Carolina to have to make that rotation.
Mississippi State, 5 turnovers today. They average 16 a game. South Carolina only averages 12 turnovers per game this year. Little zone here for Mississippi State.
Well, it's interesting, and we got the turnover right here. Great job, Prater gets the ball back.
Prater working on Watkins. Knocked out of bounds. It'll be Bulldog basketball. But, you know, Sam Purcell, he said this team basically stays in man-to-man. What'd you think of that zone?
That's what he said yesterday. But, you know, he said if we have to switch it up a little bit and you throw something out every once in a while, I don't think that's bad.
You think he was working us? Just messing with us?
Not Sam. He wouldn't do that to anybody with the name Sam, right?
That's right. Got to be a great guy. Well. Final seconds of the quarter. And Russell has come on here at the end of the first quarter. That's her second bucket. Johnson trying to go all the way in. And a lot of contact on the way to the basket. And I think they're going to get number 5, Chandler Prater. No shots, though. All right, under a second to play. What do you do here?
I think that foul was actually on number 4. They put it on Russell.
Got to catch and shoot. Couldn't do it. A fantastic start by Mississippi State. We have played 10 minutes, and they are leading the defending national champions 22-13. Mississippi State came out of the gate hot. Jacayla Jordan with 12 points in that first quarter, and they shot 53%.
Well, we knew it was going to be a battle in the hump, but what we didn't know was which player would step up, and Jacayla Jordan from Mississippi State has stepped up big time, already in double digits just in the first quarter, 12 points, 3 for 5, 2 for 2 from the 3-point, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, and she has done it all. Exude the confidence for this team has literally come out. They made the first punch against South Carolina, but we'll see how South Carolina punches back.
Well, as has been the case for a lot of teams, Mississippi State has struggled against South Carolina lately. The Gamecocks have won the last 6. Did you see anything in that first quarter that South Carolina was not doing well, that they need to adjust?
Well, I don't know if it's what South Carolina is not doing well, but normally they get the rebound. Careless turnover right there. Ashton Watkins not able to control the ball. But I think offensively, Mississippi State doing a good job of attacking the basket.
Yeah, fearless today. DeShields lobs it back out to Russell. They'll reset. It's Mississippi State's opening possession of the second quarter. They were 6 of their last 8 to finish that quarter. South Carolina only scored in back-to-back possessions twice in that first quarter. There's some miscommunication there between DeShields and Jordan. They'll get on the same page. She was looking for Jordan to go backdoor.
Yeah, definitely looking for the backdoor cut, but you got to connect eyes with your player. You can't just pass the ball.
South Carolina today going for their 40th straight SEC victory. Johnson's 3 is long, and it goes out of bounds, and will go back to Mississippi State.
Well, earlier in the first quarter, we talked about Coach Purcell told us that they were going to play mainly man-to-man. They put the 2-3 zone, and a little bit of miscommunication. That is actually a lucky possession on the defensive end, because Tessa Johnson normally knocks that shot down.
Just not enough on that pass. Russell says, my bad. But it was there.
Don't bounce pass. Don't bounce pass to somebody with a 7-foot wingspan.
Yeah, Akai, definitely 7-foot wingspan. 6'6" is her height. Fantastic 3x3 player for Kenya. Inside, off the glass, Edwards. You know, they get mad if you say 3-on-3. It's 3x3.
3x3.
Yeah.
I like that play by Joyce Edwards.
Prater tried to take it inside herself, had it knocked away by Ashley Watkins. And it'll go back to the Gamecocks, as you can probably tell from the reaction of this crowd.
Well, anytime Watkins makes the rotation over on the defensive end, if you're an offensive player, you got to be aware, because Watkins is fierce when she's down there, one of the top blockers in the NCAA.
Yeah, one of the best nicknames, Swatkins. Pow pow, oh yeah. Missed the shot, Jordan looking up. Jordan tried to take that off the glass. She got her miss, and the second attempt is good.
Jacayla Jordan staying in attack mode, not falling back, and I think Mississippi State, they got to continue to do that.
14 of Mississippi State's 24 points have come from Jordan. Watkins one-on-one against Akai. And a foul called on Akai on the baseline. Watkins a little slow to get up. And Nikisha Thompson, one of our officials, asking for the training staff to come over. Dawn Staley's coming out on the floor as well.
That's not a good look with Watkins on the floor.
Well, she sat up so quickly, it looked like she was going to be okay. She actually had a smile on her face, but she's not been able to get up yet. Now looks to be in pain. So here's that play. That's her number 2 in black.
You see her knee wiggle up a little bit on the left side.
So Watkins is up, but she's being helped off the court. She is one of the most dynamic players you'll ever see. I hope she's okay. She came off the bench against Missouri and had a double-double on Thursday.
She's just a fun player to watch.
Yeah.
When she's out there on the defensive end, especially offensively, she'll give you some buckets, get some offensive rebounds, but...
And she dunks too. Chloe Kitts with the bucket, and Chloe Kitts has made her presence felt today, now 4 points.
Well, you got one player that goes out, and Ashlyn Watkins, you want Chloe Kitts to step up and have a good game.
It's the beauty of South Carolina. They just reload on every substitution. They have not had an answer for Jerkayla Jordan, though. No other player has been a factor offensively for Mississippi State. Russell's got 4 points. No one else has more than 2 other than Jordan's 16.
Well, what I love about Mississippi State, though, they're going to go back to Jerkayla Jordan over and over and over again.
5th turnover on the Gamecocks. Mississippi State, the team motto this year is own it. And they're doing that today so far.
Take care of home base when you come home, and that's what Coach Purcell talked about a little yesterday. Hey, you know what? You want to steal a game when you're on the road, but when you're at home, you take care of home. And they'll hot, wide open look underneath. Great pass in.
What a pass by DeShields for the assist. They want a caught open to shoot. Kitts with the rebound, and one. Chloe Kitts.
I like seeing Chloe Kitts get that energy too. Got that rebound, got the putback, gave you a little bit of her energy.
Chloe Kitts has come back stronger this year from last year's national championship team. Had a double-double in the NCAA championship game. But has seen a lot of defenses focused on her this year, and is still adjusting to that, being the star on this team, drawing the attention of the scouting report.
I think that's also a good thing, right? That's a testament to you and your growth as a player in this program. And South Carolina means you look at it, who are you going to help off of, right? Every single player brings a different dynamic that you got to figure out as a team how we're going to guard.
The foul was on Prater. Kitts with the 3-point play. And the Mississippi State lead, 8 points against South Carolina, ranked number 2 in the nation. McFall stopped, out to Russell. Russell fakes, drives, tried to throw it across the lane to Montague, and that'll turn it back over to South Carolina.
Well, as Coach said yesterday, when Russell gets the ball and gets in the air, we want her to shoot, not pass. And when she gets in the air that close to the basket, you definitely need to put the ball up.
She's 2 for 3 today when she does shoot, 4 points. Pow got loose, kicks it out. 3 on the way, good by Tessa Johnson.
Drive and kick. You got shooters on the outside. Either way you go, Pow goes down. She knows Tessa Johnson's on the other side. If Tessa drives, she knows Pow's on the other wing.
First 3-pointer of the game for South Carolina, and Montague answers on the other end with a 2.
And getting DeShields another assist that gives her 3 for the game.
Kitts got her miss, brought the ball down, and she's swarmed by Bulldogs. And then good sportsmanship, 2 Mississippi State players, Jordan and Russell, help her up.
I think second chance opportunity. All of these jump balls add up as you get further and further into the game because you get extra possession.
Full court pressure applied by South Carolina a little bit. Full court man-to-man, now falls back. They're going to let McFall bring it up. She's guarded by Johnson. Mississippi State shooting 57%. Man, McFall's got some moves, doesn't she?
Did you see that? She came over the screen. They tried to jump the screen. She figures out a way to keep the ball. Yeah, we got to see that again.
And again, that's one of those players that South Carolina probably was not anticipating doing that today. Now here's the zone again. Pow, yes! For dramatic effect, rolled around the rim a few times.
I like the energy from both teams right now. Obviously, South Carolina trying to figure it out and figure out a way to get back into the flow, but Te-Hina Pow is not going to let this team go down.
It's a fun game so far. Mississippi State taking it to the defending champs. Jordan runs that down. Remember, Jordan's been the leading scorer in the game, 16 points, trying to make it 18. And no. With the kind of day she's had, I'm surprised that didn't go in. Powell trying to go off the screen. Steal by Jordan.
Great.
One player to beat. And throws it off the glass with her left hand.
And that's what Mississippi State has done so far in this game. They've done a great job defensively, making every single look hard for South Carolina.
Back-to-back threes by Johnson, and they need those threes. Mississippi State has made 9 of their last 12 shots. You never know who's going to step up for South Carolina, and right now it's Tessa Johnson.
Well, Mississippi State continues to figure out ways, and this play right here, McFall with the finish at the basket. Jacayla Jordan, hands on the ball, up the floor for 2.
South Carolina getting their hands full today with this Mississippi State Bulldog team that is red hot. These were the stars we told you to watch for at the top of the show, Tamika. They're coming through.
Well, Jacayla Jordan really came and put her stamp from the beginning of the game. 18 points right now, 12 points in the first quarter alone. So she's going to be a player that will continue to watch. Of course, Te-Hina Powell, she steps up and hits big shot. That three-pointer that she hit a three-pointer, and then she made a drive to the basket, got Tessa Johnson wide open. Tessa Johnson has 2 threes as well.
But you know, I got to borrow from the world of tennis. South Carolina's Rafael Nadal, because you could take a set or 2 off Nadal, but to win a best-of-5 set match against him was a grueling, grinding process. Not many people could do it, and I think that's where South Carolina has the strength, is their depth and their ability to go 4 quarters.
Well, I mean, you look at the scoreboard, 29-34, and South Carolina has been able to get back in the game like that because of the three-pointers that they're hitting. 3 out of the last 4 possessions have been three-point plays.
2 by Johnson, that one by Powell, and all of a sudden it's a 2-point game. Prater down the left side of the lane, stopped by Kitts. Turnover. Johnson picked that pass off. And South Carolina could have tied there. And a jump ball between Russell and Kitts. The possession arrow will keep it on this end.
Well, McFall trying to make that pass, and Raven Johnson picks the pocket again. Cannot make a cross-court pass.
South Carolina has not led since 5-4 at the start of the game. And Mississippi State never led against Kentucky on Thursday. What a turnaround. McFall jumps through the lane and traveled. Dawn Staley saying, good call to Brenda Patoha, who made the call.
Well, I think she was trying to do a little bit too much, and that's going to be the 10th turnover for Mississippi State. Keep it simple. Move the ball. That's what Mississippi State, were doing early on, is moving the ball. And of course, Jacayla Jordan has a lot to do with that.
Big possession here. South Carolina can tie or take the lead. Kitts going one-on-one. Got a screen, banks it in. And Chloe Kitts having a good game today. 9 points for Kitts. In fact, Kitts and Powell are the leading scorers for South Carolina.
Mississippi State gonna tried to move the ball, may have gone cold a little bit, but South Carolina, great job, great pass. Powell up to Johnson.
And they have taken the lead, first lead since 5-4 in the opening quarter, and Mississippi State will take a timeout. Sam Purcell said he was not going to let South Carolina go on big scoring runs. He would take his timeouts, but this is the first time he's had to use one.
Well, I mean, it's interesting, too. You look at a South Carolina, and you know what they are capable of doing right now in an 8-0 run. You know what they're capable of doing. Mississippi State, they kind of got out of their rhythm a little bit. They missed a couple of shots. They weren't on the offensive rebounds. Almost like in the first quarter, they did everything that they knew they had to do. Second quarter, they relaxed a little bit. And South Carolina is not a team that you can relax at all.
Mississippi State has led by as many as 11 in this first half. And South Carolina right now trying to establish that momentum going into halftime.
Interesting stat, Powell and Johnson each in double digits with 10 points. Kitts has 9 points. Then when you look at Mississippi State, Jacayla Jordan has 18. There's a few other players that have 4 and 2 points. So the balanced scoring is really seen from South Carolina.
And that's been typical of them this year. Again, 7 players average 7 points per game. When you look at a South Carolina box score, you're looking to see a big number by someone's name, and you don't. They're just so balanced. DeShields passes up the shot, gives it to Jordan. And 3 seconds called against Mississippi State. Akot was in the lane a little too long. 11th turnover on Mississippi State.
And you kind of feel bad for Akot because she's down there posting up. She thinks she's open, and they can't figure out a way to get her the ball.
Kitts, step back 2. Nice looking shot. It doesn't go down to Shields. Bounce pass to Prater. It goes out of bounds, and it's off of Prater's leg. South Carolina will get it back.
I think in that play, I want DeShields to go to the basket. Go and finish your shot or get fouled and get to the free throw line. I love the fact that she's a pass first point guard, but in some situations, she's got to be able to finish those shots too.
She's only taken 1 shot, and she made it. Johnson, 3 threes in this first half, and she has been a big factor in getting South Carolina back in this game, and now a 5-point lead.
3 for 4 from the three-point line. And the shots she's taken have been within the flow of the offense. Nothing forced.
Jordan trying to create a bucket, missed that off the back of the rim. And South Carolina is up 5 points with a chance to add to it here in the final minute of the half. Kitts, pow wide open. Mississippi State very fortunate that she didn't make that. Johnson will get a 3, and she'll make that. It's the Tessa Johnson show.
Second chance opportunity for South Carolina. Joyce Edwards kept that alive that last possession, and South Carolina making it felt. Tessa Johnson.
Final seconds of the second quarter. Sam Purcell in the halftime, he says, what are we doing well? What do we need to fix? What's it going to take to win this game? See how they answer those questions, because they had an 11-point lead one time in this half. But we have played 20 minutes of basketball, and Dawn Staley's team has overcome that 11-point deficit, turning it around and leading by 8 despite Jacayla Jordan's 18 points. Back in Starkville on the beautiful campus of Mississippi State University, where it was looking good for the Bulldogs for a while, but South Carolina turned that half around and now have the lead at halftime. Hey everybody, Sam Gore along with Hall of Famer Tamika Catchings. South Carolina's only led for 3 minutes and 19 seconds in this game, and the 3-point shot was a big reason why they got that lead.
Well, Tessa Johnson and Te-Hina are a great reason that South Carolina got that lead back, and they came out that second quarter lights out. Started the game 0 for 5 from the three-point line, finished the second quarter 6 of 7 from the three-point. Tessa Johnson 4 for 5. And Te-Hina 2 for 5 from the three-point line, but they moved the ball, they found open players, and on one end, Mississippi State was getting 2s, on the other end, South Carolina was hitting 3s, and that is the story of the first half.
South Carolina got better defensively as well. Mississippi State only got 3 shots off in the last 4 minutes of the quarter. And South Carolina ended that half on a 16-0 run. The big possession here for Mississippi State to start the second half.
I think it's going to be really important for Mississippi State. They have to get other people going to the basket. Nice drive, and Nia Russell and getting to the free throw line. That'll be a foul on Te-Hina
She's got a nice screen from Jacayla Jordan. Not happy with that call.
Are we ever happy?
No.
With a foul call? No, we are not.
So Nia Russell, again, playing her former team for the second straight game. Kentucky on Thursday, South Carolina today. She's a full-time starter, though, in this Mississippi State program. It's funny, Sam Purcell, we asked him about Anaya, and he said, Free Willy. Let her go. He's letting her start, and she is responding. What a good beginning of the season she's had for Sam Purcell, and only Sam Purcell would come up with the Free Willy analogy.
Well, I mean, you also have to realize that she did 2 years at South Carolina, 2 years at Kentucky, and now at Mississippi State. But you also, nice drive. You also have to realize every year she's gotten better as a player, even in the different programs. So putting all of those pieces together, coming to a system that really fits her and allows her the opportunity to move and create plays.
Caught, catches, throws it out. Poe. And Pow with a rebound. Pow, 3-on-2. Goes to Hall. And Hall banks it in. And South Carolina now has a 10-point lead for the first time today.
Just like South Carolina, when you're going up against them, you never saw them lose focus. You never saw them start stressing. They stayed with the game plan.
Travel, yeah. Dawn Staley was just saying how collective this group was. That they don't panic. Sometimes you look at them and wonder if they're interested, but they are. I mean, they're just so calm and composed. That's a characteristic of this South Carolina team. Dawn is standing up right now. You said she didn't stand up in the first quarter, and when she stood up in the second quarter, they got better.
I mean, it just happened miraculously.
Hall, nice take. Caught with the rebound.
But also, you got to look at the points in the paint. South Carolina only had 6 in the first quarter, ended up with 16 at the half, so 10 in the second quarter.
3 off the mark, and it goes out of bounds. It's going to go to South Carolina. And Sam Purcell going to the bench right away, bringing in McFall. Mississippi State hasn't had an offensive rebound since the first quarter, Tamika.
You mentioned it just a second ago. South Carolina has really stepped up from the defensive capacity, and they are normally known for getting those rebounds in the transition game. I will say Mississippi State's done a good job of deflecting the ball and trying to get it, but South Carolina ended up coming down with it.
Well, early in the game, Mississippi State wasn't missing a shot, so there wasn't a need for offensive rebounding. Kitts backing in on Montague. Determined. And gets the roll. Chloe Kitts having a fantastic game today, and she needed it. 11 points now for Kitts. She goes to the floor to get the steal, and she and McFall get tied up.
You gotta like Chloe Kitts going to work down low, continuing to figure out ways to score for this team, and I like the way she backed down. Used a couple shot fakes and got the ball to fall.
Timeout on the floor. We'll be back with 7:43 left in the quarter. With the Longhorns in the college football playoff semis, the SEC Network will have Texas covered before, during, and after their matchup with Ohio State on Friday. The coverage is so big, the pregame actually begins Thursday at 1:30 Eastern with SEC Now, and Friday, game day, you're covered from 8 a.m. until midnight. Wrapping up this unforgettable day with SEC football final with all the highlights, interviews, and a complete game breakdown. Now, everyone knows Tamika as a Lady Vol legend, but did you know she's in grad school at Notre Dame? So you got a little Fighting Irish? Have you become a fan a little bit?
So I am definitely a fan.
Okay.
However, I bleed orange, so I will put that
Burn
disclaimer.
orange?
No. I bleed. The right orange. No, I'm just kidding. I bleed orange, and so I call right now. I'm a volunteer Irish.
Okay. Volunteer Irish. I like that. South Carolina up 12. The defending national champions overcame an 11-point deficit. Pow got a nice pass from Fagan.
Hey, I like that. It's almost like a no-look pass, and Shania Fagan, great backdoor cut by Pow.
Ken Dunlap, my awesome statistician, tells me that Mississippi State hasn't scored since the 4:01 mark in the second quarter.
Well, part of it is the shots at their shot selection that they have, and then secondly, we mentioned it last possession, they haven't had any more second chance opportunity, not getting those rebounds.
Kitts having a good game in double figures, short on that jumper. And then Kitts comes over the back with the foul.
And you look at the bench, Dawn is laughing. You saw that happen immediately.
What is she doing?
Yeah, she went for the rebound and the head and the body, and looks right at Dawn and starts laughing.
Kitts laughing too. You'll take that aggression, right?
Yeah.
And Kitts was due for a good game. The Shields to Poe. Nothing there for Poe.
Mississippi State, a lot of dribbling. They got a pass and not attacking the basket, but South Carolina taking advantage of it.
Johnson came up in the air, and as she did, she was tied up by McFall. So an unhappy Dawn Staley there.
And she's just telling Angel that that's her call.
Wasn't happy with the officiating there. 3 good officials today doing a fantastic job. Kitts catches, shoots, scores off the glass.
I like that out-of-bounds play, and we'll get a chance to get another look at that, but a great screen to get Chloe going to the basket.
13 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists for Chloe Kitts, who again struggled in the SEC opener against Missouri. Nice block by Montague, but right back to Pow Pow. Lob down low, Fagan couldn't hold on to it. Prater knocked it out of bounds. South Carolina will keep it.
Yeah, we'll take another look at this out-of-bounds play. You see the nice screen. Pow Pow sets the screen. And Chloe Kitts directly to the basket.
Kitts averages 9 points per game. Over her average today.
I think that's an interesting matchup, Chloe Kitts with Montague.
What's interesting about it?
Well, look at Chloe just continues to run. That's going to be another foul. Pow did not wait for the screen.
Back to Kitts and Montague. What did you like about that matchup?
Kitts just continues to run. She's forcing Montague to play different positions. I mean, she can shoot the 3. She got a nice little pull-up. She can shoot in the paint. She can get to the basket. And I think Montague having to play a lot of, just maybe a little bit out of position.
The Shields tried to force that pass into the lane. It's taken by Johnson. Johnson racing down the floor and finally gets the roll. Nice D leading to the layup.
Well, Mississippi State, the last 3 possessions have tried the backdoor cut, and 3 possessions in a row have turned the ball over.
Michaela Jordan's been quiet so far in this half. She had the massive first half. Russell travels, and it's just been tough for Mississippi State to get points on the board after leading by as many as 11 in the first half. Again, that's just what makes South Carolina so incredible, just their ability to wear you down.
Well, I think in these situations, when you look at a Mississippi State and how well they played in the first half, or first quarter rather, they gotta find their mojo. They gotta get back to that. It's like you've seen the players on the floor and they're just separated.
Foul on Edwards. We'll stop play and we'll have a timeout.
So Raven Johnson, hands on the ball, nice look up the basket from the steal to the finish. It's good.
Tamika, you played with Dawn. You were coached by Dawn. When you see her name alongside Andy Landers and Pat Summitt, what comes to mind?
I'm just proud. I'm proud of who Dawn is. I'm proud of what she represents and how she continues to represent and show up for the game, for the women's game as a player, what she was able to do. I got a chance to play with her, 2004 Olympic team, and then of course coaching and having her on the side. But I am sitting in the room and listening to her do her pregame radio show and then talk to us for a bit. I'm proud of what she does and how she just continues to be who she is. She's always been the same way.
The 200 wins, she's the second fastest to reach 200, only behind Pat Summitt. Russell, still a lid on the basket for Mississippi State, and heard a whistle after that. There was a foul call, and it's on Montague. So South Carolina will inbound it. Let's see if we can see it. Number 24 in white. There she is on the left of your picture. Yeah, just came over Pow Pow's back.
trying to get the rebound. And I think Mississippi State trying to figure out a way to get Russell going. Jacayla Jordan was the shining light in the first half, 18 points. She hasn't taken a shot in the second half.
Fulwiley. Oh, wow. Dawn Saylor calls her a generational player, and she is under the tutelage of Dawn Staley. I cannot wait to see what her career becomes.
Oh, shoot. Knocked down.
Player and official falling down over there. Angel Kent, one of our officials, in a collision.
And they're going to call the foul on Diamond DeShields. And then Raven Johnson.
DeShields 0 and white gets called for the foul. And good to see everybody okay. DeShields not happy with that call at all. We were talking to the officials at halftime. They've gotten a workout today. It's such a fast-paced first half.
I feel like the second half has slowed down a little bit. Mississippi State trying to figure out, and McFall going to get called for that foul. I like how Fulwiley is taking it right in the middle of the zone. Instead of trying to pass her around the outside, she's just trying to get it to the middle.
Yeah, I love that. She was in the midst of creating. That pass knocked away by Russell. Fulwiley got it back, though. Rifles it over to Fagan. Fagan is fouled by Gamecocks. And so Fagan will go to the free throw line. It's interesting, Okot has some people here with her from Kenya, and so they changed the way we pronounced her name. They wanted us to say it like they do, which is Okot, not Okot.
One thing you should know, too, this is her first year in America, so.
Second free throw good by Fagan. And South Carolina building that lead now. If you're just coming in, this was a much different game in the first half. Mississippi State led by 11 at one point. Russell with the step through, but took an extra step. And no basket. 19th turnover.
I'll take another look at it, and Russell, 1, 2. Yeah. I tell you what, that little hop in the beginning is, I feel like throwing a lot of reach. I've seen a lot of travel calls with that.
Mississippi State, again, they're really struggling to score the basketball. Another foul called on the Bulldogs.
I don't know if I agree with that call with the cock down low, but seeing it from the angle from the table. Take another look at it, a cop's hands. And she hit Fagan on her arm on that release.
It was funny, Okot told Sam Purcell, in Kenya, they don't really call fouls. She said, you know, you can push somebody, they're not going to call a foul. It's much more physical game over there, and she's still learning to adapt to officiating here in the U.S. Okot goes to the bench, puts Fagan back on that line, and Fagan, good job at the free throw line today, 4 for 6.
Remind you, Okot's only been playing basketball since 2020, so still adjusting and learning basketball. And then you come to the States, and it is totally different. When you talk about the NBA game and how the players from way before, it was a lot more physical than it is now, and it's the same thing for her being in Kenya and coming to the States.
And she was playing 3x3. She was a volleyball player growing up. Russell draws the foul. And the fans appreciate the call.
Just a little bit.
So Russell will be on the free throw line. Russell averaging 13 a game this year, short on that free throw. Tuesday, it's a men's basketball doubleheader on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Starts at 7 Eastern, 6 Central in Athens, Georgia, hosting Kentucky. Kentucky with the home win yesterday against Florida, and that'll be followed by LSU and Missouri in Columbia.
South Carolina figuring out ways to take it to the basket. Joyce Edwards powers up with the finish. Mind you, she's a freshman. Of course, 3-time player of the year in high school, and great school to be at to continue to thrive.
Yeah, from Camden, South Carolina. Nia Russell with some magic creating that shot.
Russell's talking a little smack to Tessa Johnson, man. So she's looking at the scoreboard.
Russell's got 9 points now. Fulwiley. Oh, what a pass! That would have been on the highlight reel had they finished that. Jordan, who had the massive first half, gets the bucket, and she now has 20 points, but her first bucket here in the second half.
I think that's the first time Ja'Kayla Jordan has shot in the third quarter.
20-point lead for South Carolina. Fulwiley missed the 3. She's only made 12 this year, but she's open again. And now she's made 13.
You saw Dawn Staley on the sideline trying to tell him to calm down and pull the ball out, but Fulwiley was wide open on the backside.
South Carolina started cold behind the 3-point line. They're now 7 of 15. South Carolina averages 7, or actually 6 threes a game, so they're 1 over their average. Jordan got her shot blocked, got it back, missed. And Fulwiley leading the break. 4-on-2 break. And Fulwiley is fouled on the way up.
And McFall going to get called for that foul. South Carolina just continuing to do what they do best, and that is get to the paint. 32 points out of their 64 right now are in the paint.
Yeah, they've done a good job with that, turning that around. That didn't start that way either. So Fulwiley is at the free throw line. Fulwiley came off the bench against Missouri to score 17 points. She averages 11. And Fulwiley, I love hearing Dawn Staley talk about her, and Diana Caval, the media relations contact for us, was just saying that the relationship between Dawn and Fulwiley, as she tries to mentor her, she doesn't come out and say, "Why did you do this?" She says, "What did you see?"
And I think that's important, because sometimes when you come out of the game and you want your coach to say something, but Dawn will ask her, like, instead she'll turn it around on her. Okay, tell me, if you make a turnover, what did you see? Did you see a backdoor cut? Did you see an open lane? Did you see some Joyce Edwards down low posting up? Like, tell me what you saw.
McFall scores on the interior for Mississippi State. McFall's done a nice job today off the bench, 6 points. Had some spectacular plays in those 3 shots she's made. Final minute of the third quarter. Johnson gonna take it all the way in and score.
Nobody comes over to help, but a great look up floor.
Kitts with the rebound. And Tessa Johnson, she's made 4 threes today. Fulwiley made one a second ago. So Mississippi State going to pull it out, play for 1 before we head into the final quarter. McFall has the ball. She's guarded loosely by Edwards.
Mississippi State trying to get another basket before the end of the quarter, and they do. McFall.
That was a textbook play by Mississippi State in that quarter. We'll see if they can build off that as we get to the final quarter.
Well, Mississippi State trying to figure out a way to get it going in the fourth quarter. But I tell you what, they've had plays, they've made plays, but South Carolina comes out up 68-45.
Here's a look at the scoring summary, Tamika, and it's just been such a massive shift from Mississippi State to South Carolina.
Well, Mississippi State really struggling to find offense, and we talked about this in the first half. Ja'Kayla Jordan went off, but there was nobody else really that was able to come in and supplement that, whereas South Carolina had 3 players that pretty much were right around double digits, and since then those players have continued to rise. I'd say, Te-Hina Pow, the player we talked about, Tessa Johnson shooting the three really well. And Chloe Kitts has stepped up her game tonight.
Jacayla Jordan has just been incredibly impressive in this game as well for Mississippi State. 22 points, 8 of 16 shooting. Fulwiley penetrates the D, off the mark. Kitts with the offensive rebound and gets the roll.
Well, Fulwiley went in there really wild. I think she wanted to pass the ball when Akot did a good job of not.
Kitts now with 15 points in this game. Poe driving against Kitts, in and out. Kitts got the rebound, shakes everyone off.
Kitts right now, 15 points, 8 rebounds.
And Fulwiley is fouled on the way to the basket. Russell really didn't have any other option unless she was going to let her go. Yeah, Chloe Kitts, fantastic game today. 15 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. Kitts trying to add to those points. Nice fake.
I tell you what, if she hits that shot and gets that in part of her repertoire in her game, she is going to be dangerous.
Good take by Russell and one.
And Te-Hina Pow going to get called for that foul. But nice drive right there. Russell taking it to the basket. Pow just got a nice little bump to the side. And these are plays that last quarter Mississippi State was trying to do a lot of, and they just weren't able to get good shot nor to get them the ball.
Russell completes a three-point play. She almost had a triple-double against Georgia Tech in December. Really made an impact at Mississippi State in her first season playing for Sam Purcell. She's got 8 points this half. 12 for the game. Pow in the lane, gets rid of it.
Look at the ball movement for South Carolina.
Blocked by Akot. Jordan trying to beat Johnson. And yes! Are you kidding me?
Absolutely. Jacayla Jordan taking it in. Takes it right at Tessa Johnson. And I think that was one of those Harlem. But we'll start with the block from Akot and then Jacayla Jordan. You saw it happening real time. Tessa Johnson reaches in at the last second. And Jacayla Jordan, acrobatic finish.
Just like you draw it up on the playground,
Exactly,
right?
exactly how it was.
Jordan missed the free throw. But Jacayla Jordan with 24 points today.
You know, you look at how much time is left in the game, and South Carolina is a very dominant team. For you to have an opportunity, you have to do everything right. And Chloe Kitts, great job going right at Akot.
Fourth foul on Akot. They're going right at her as she learns the American Division I game, how to play defense without fouling.
Well, I think the big thing on that play is all she has to do is stand up with her hands straight up. If you don't get the block, you don't get the block, but at least you get to stay on the floor.
Again, she is from Kenya, was a volleyball player. As Tamika mentioned, came to basketball late. Got into the U.S., finally got a visa on her 5th time through the process and arrived here in late August. And again, I mentioned she plays 3x3 for Kenya, and she was in such incredible shape, still is. She passed their conditioning test without being required to take it on the first try. Sam Purcell was going to not have her take it since she didn't train with the team. She said, no, I'll try it. And she passed.
Went and grabbed the shoes, said, I want to play, practice on the first day, why not?
That is a three-pointer by McFall.
I love how the crowd continues to stay engaged with Mississippi State. I think at this point, you don't necessarily play the scoreboard because there's a lot of time you could get back in the game. You just have to be on all cylinders.
Johnson's three is good. Raven Johnson buries it.
It's been a lot of fun watching Raven Johnson continue to develop, and a nice shot down low by Montague. Remember a couple of years ago, Raven Johnson in the tournament, but I feel like since then she's really stepped up and taken some of those outside shots and gotten better.
Nice, strong post move inside by Joyce Edwards, who is a 2-time National Player of the Year, 4-time State Player of the Year in South Carolina, and she does it on the defensive end as well.
You got to reward her, get the ball back to her, but not if you got a wide open pow, pow. Let's go. Te-Hina pow, pow. I like the smile, wide open on the wing. Nice little skip pass. Feet set, arms up, nobody around. It's good. Well, you know, when you look at this list, that not everybody's going to end the season undefeated. We've only seen that 10 times. So somebody else is going to go down at some point during the season, especially as it wears on, to get to our NCAA champion.
South Carolina undefeated last year. They produced the 10th undefeated title season in NCAA history.
South Carolina in a zone. They're kind of confused.
Prater in and out.
State.
Yeah, Poe with the offensive rebound. That's the first offensive rebound they've had in a long time. Prater. Good.
Nice little fake by Prater.
Prater coming off an Achilles injury. Good to see her trending in the right direction. Sam Purcell very high on her. Gets, rifles it over to Johnson. Prater leading the break, forces it up, and Johnson comes out of there with it. Over to Pow Pow. Fagan looked like she was ready to pull the trigger.
She stepped right into it. She looked, she thought she might have seen dawn on the side of her eye.
Inside, Fagan scoring down low.
South Carolina, because you have to think about your options. Every single person on the floor is a scoring threat.
3 on the way, good! Knocked down by Debrisha Poe. Poe was one of the best 3-point shooters in the nation last year. She was only one of 3 players nationally to make more than 65 threes. Pow Pow, who has the ball now, was one of those other players. So was Alabama's Aaliyah Nye. Johnson, nice shot. I like Johnson's game.
Well, and Tessa Johnson, what you don't realize, she plays so well without the ball. So McFall thought she was guarding her out on the 3-point line, but Tessa Johnson has made a cut to the free throw line with nobody around her.
Montague draws the foul going up. Yeah, Tessa Johnson, she's can score at every level. She's shown that today.
Well, that's part of her improvement this season. You know, we talked to Dawn before the game, and she even talked about trying to find other options. So Tessa Johnson and Te-Hina Pow Pow getting played around that 3-point line so well by teams now, trying to add something else to their offensive repertoire.
Montague at the free throw line. Montague had a good SEC opener, 13 points off the bench. She's their most athletic post player. And makes 1 of 2 free throws.
Well, there's 2 South Carolina players back and only 1 Mississippi State, so you're going to get a wide open look.
Johnson off the mark on that 3, but Johnson, ball fell right to her for another South Carolina offensive rebound. This Mississippi State team, they are very top heavy in the first part of the SEC schedule. It is a tough start to play Tennessee and Kentucky right out of the gate. Fans not happy with that call. South Carolina's going to keep the ball.
Good job of getting your hands on the ball to force the jump ball.
Just 1 loss this year for South Carolina. That was to UCLA. Fulwiley going to work. Shot clock expired. First shot clock violation we've had. It's not making Dawn very happy.
Well, I think you, as a guard on the floor, you know, Dawn is probably more upset with the shot clock. You don't have time to get the ball and try to make a play. You just have to shoot the ball.
Whose job is it in that situation to get everybody on the same page, to pay attention to that?
Sometimes it's your point guard, but if you're on the floor, everybody should be looking at the shot clock. But that comes with also like leadership, and one thing we talked to a coach about is who are your leaders? And she said, we have a collective unit of leaders, but sometimes when you have a collective unit, the message doesn't get relayed to everybody.
That was actually called a jump ball. Sam Purcell loves this team, and right now Charlie Cream has them in the NCAA tournament. Charlie Cream, we're doing bracketology, and it's January. You can check it out on the ESPN website under the women's basketball tab. He has 10 SEC teams in at the moment. South Carolina, of course, would be a #1 seed. He has Mississippi State as a 9 seed this week.
Well, it's interesting to look and to think about. Mississippi State, you're going up against a very strong South Carolina team, and I think the beauty of it is you take what you were able to do in the first half, in that first quarter specifically, and how do you carry that out for 40 minutes?
Mississippi State, again, it doesn't get any easier. They'll play Oklahoma, Georgia, at Tennessee, Ole Miss, Auburn. Those are their upcoming games. Sam Purcell just hoping to manage this front half of the SEC season so they can sprint home. Good take, and one. McFall has been fearless today and draws the foul and will go to the free throw line.
Every time this team has attacked the basket with a wide open drive, they have been able to convert it. The time they have driven to the basket and have had 1, 2, 3 players around them, and they need to kick the ball out.
20-point South Carolina lead here in Starkville. Again, after this game, LSU and Auburn will be handed the baton. Fulwiley, nice pass. And Edwards is fouled on the way up by Jordan.
And Fulwiley a little disappointed that she didn't finish the basket, but at least she gets the opportunity to get to the free throw line.
So again, Edwards, one of the most talented high school seniors in the nation last year, 2-time National Player of the Year. She won the State Player of the Year 4 times in high school. But Tamika, she was an all-state athlete in 3 different sports.
And how rare is that now to be able to talk about that? As players coming in, most players who are going into high school, they're only either committed to 1, maybe 2 sports, but to have 3. And I think it just also adds to the versatility of the things that she's capable and able to do.
She's like you. She's good at everything. Edwards from Camden, South Carolina, has already been the SEC Freshman of the Week this year.
Coach Staley able to play a lot of different lineups and a lot of different players.
Adele Tacken for the first time today, number 15 in black. Again, this South Carolina bench has outscored its opponents the last 3 games. Jordan off the mark on that. Out of bounds, it'll stay with Mississippi State. Today, the South Carolina bench has scored 37 points, so they won't keep that streak going. And a timeout called by Mississippi State. Jacayla Jordan today with 24 points, 6 rebounds.
Mississippi State able to have 3 players in double digits. You just mentioned Jacayla Jordan, McFall with 14. Russell came alive in the second half with 12. Then when you look on the flip side of South Carolina, Tessa Johnson, lights out shooting, 20 points, and Pow 15, Edwards 10, Kitts 17, and then you got Raven Johnson with 9, so a lot of different options. But let's go back to Tessa Johnson, because when she started lighting it up, it turned the tide for South Carolina, really knocking it down from the 3-point. But I talked about this earlier, just how she's able to move without the ball, doing a good job of attacking the basket, finding those holes, getting those looks, and finishing.
Tessa Johnson with 20 points today, 8 of 11 shooting overall, 4 of 6 behind the three-point line. She hit 3 in a row in the first half. Johnson, just a sophomore from Minnesota. She was Minnesota's Miss Basketball. Made the Final Four All-Tournament team last year as a freshman.
Well, she's so feisty, and I remember watching her last season, and it's like that one player that just gets in your skin, under your skin, and that's her on the defensive end. And then offensively, like, she can score. She can knock down shots.
Nice pass. Russell unable to get it to finish. Tack grabbed the rebound for Fulwiley, trying to beat everybody to the bucket and gets fouled. So Fulwiley will go back to the free throw line. I think that's going to be on a Cotton. If it is, that will be all for her. And it is.
Well, Kat will learn as she continues to play. She'll learn what she can and can't do. And this is going to be every single night that she plays.
Yeah.
In the SEC conference.
Kayla Thomas comes in to replace her. Fulwiley at the free throw line. Fulwiley, again, one of those 7 players that average at least 7 a game. She averages 11 per game this year.
That made free throw gives her 9.
Kayla Jordan going to work. Good D. Russell trying to get by Johnson. The 3 is open. And Tack with another rebound. So under 90 seconds to play in this game. That went in. Off the bounce, the 3 is good by Bree Hall.
Every player able to knock down three-point shots, you got to guard that three-point line.
Under a minute to play, Sam Purcell said, you know, when you play South Carolina, he said, I'm more worried about, or more concerned with my team and how they're doing as opposed to what South Carolina is doing. And it was an excellent half for Mississippi State. But before we continue our thought on that, a reminder coming up next, the Battle of the Tigers. Game 3 today on the SEC Network. Undefeated LSU will host Auburn in the Maravich Center. So if you were looking at Mississippi State today, Tamika, what would you think Sam Purcell may be thinking about how his team has played?
Yeah, I think in the first half, you gotta look at the positives. In the first half, what they were able to do. But you also have to look at who you're playing. And I think that when you face adversity throughout the game, there's going to be more adversity as you look at Kentucky. They bounced back. What do you learn from the Kentucky game? That was the first question I asked. What did you like? Same thing for South Carolina. What did you like about this game? And then as you go on and get ready for Oklahoma, every single night is going to be the same. You're going to face adversity throughout the game. And I think really what I learned is when things go back for Mississippi State, they separate instead of coming together as a team. And I think that's where good teams continue to thrive.
Mississippi State trying to put some points on the board before the buzzer expires. Offensive rebound by Ward, and she sticks it in uncontested.
Taryn Ward just checked in and immediately offensive rebound and a putback.
Taryn Ward was a fantastic player at Georgia Southern, averaged over 20 a game. So South Carolina is going to go to 2-0 to start SEC play, overcoming an 11-point deficit and putting this game away. And Mississippi State drops to 0-2, but they've played Kentucky and South Carolina to start. Tessa Johnson, 22 points today for Dawn Staley's Gamecocks. She led the way in scoring. So South Carolina beating back quite a challenge, securing their 40th straight SEC victory. And they will go home very happy with how this game ended. So for my Hall of Fame partner, Tamika Catchings, who's Dawn Staley's favorite WNBA player, I'm Sam Gore. Let's send you now to Alyssa Lang in the studio.
And Tessa, congratulations on the win, 22-point game. I'm curious what Coach Staley said to you guys and what you said to each other at half to then come out in the second half and play as dominant as you did.
She was just talking about our defense. We had to go with the scout. We changed our defense a little bit, started going under screens and stuff, but then we started playing with ball movement and then got everyone going.
Hey, I thought your second quarter there, boy, you got hot. You were doing a great job of getting open and knocking those shots down. Where does that confidence come from for you?
My teammates, my coaches, and getting in the gym. I didn't like how I was shooting the past couple games, so I kept getting in the gym and working on my shot.
Good for you. And one thing I want to say, obviously, you knocked them down from the three-point line, but you're also scoring inside the arc. And is that something that you continue to work on and develop in terms of your entire game?
Yes, I'm always working. My dad's always telling me to work on mid-range and getting to the basket because my shot's not always going to fall, so I have to be able to score from somewhere else.
Tessa, I want to ask you about Chloe Kidd. 17 points, 10 rebounds. What has she done to have the year that she's had for you guys so far?
She's doing a lot of extra work. She literally lifts every game day in the morning, and she's trying to gain weight. She's in the gym. She's doing everything, and you can see it out on the court.
I love it. Yeah, congratulations on another road win. Never easy to go on the road in the SEC and do what y'all did. We'll talk to you soon, Tessa.
Thank you.